can always bank on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander rolling up in his Sunday best, especially on ABC, and you know he will show out on the floor too. Coming off that back-to-back 40-point games, the NBA's leading scorer, he looks to cement his MVP case today against his biggest foe in this race. Nikola Jokic coming off that historic 30, 20, and 20 game last time out. The three-time MVP has never played better. We can't wait to see these two go head-to-head.
You tell me, if Nikola Jokic isn't the MVP, then who is?
Winning is the be-all and end-all.
It's time for the percolator.
To be regarded as one of the better players to ever play, you have to win.
It's a bad man, Gilgeous-Alexander.
I think this is the best basketball of my life.
Nikola Jokic.
Mr. Triple-Double, the Joker.
7'2". He's such a floor.
He can hit threes.
He don't play for anything besides to win.
You are kidding. With the magician's vision. You're telling me he's not the MVP? It's time for the percolator.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Papa John's.
Well, let's percolate on this battle of the West's best, because any way you slice it, we've got the top two teams this side of the Mississippi. We have never seen a team dominate quite like Oklahoma City. The Thunder, they boast the highest points per game differential in NBA history, but they will have to contend with the Nuggets' high-powered offense here. Denver averaging the most assists since the Showtime Lakers. The percolator is to my left, Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith, Bob Myers. I'm Malika Andrews. Stephen A., the Thunder, they have dazzled through the regular season. They're on pace for their most wins in franchise history. What are you looking for with them against Denver today?
I'm looking for them to send a message to the Denver Nuggets to say that, you know what, it's been really, really nice listening to this conversation about everybody in the Western Conference, the Lakers and the Nuggets battling for the #2 spot. Where's Memphis going to end up? Where's Houston's going to end up? Will Minnesota make some noise with Phoenix, get to the play-in? Guess what? Everybody is looking up at us. We are those dudes. I'm Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I should have been the MVP last year. I'm telling you why, because I'm showing you I'm going to be the MVP this year. I got 4 50-point games this season, okay? This is what I'm bringing to the table. Oh, Jalen Williams, I know I struggled last year, but damn it, I'm coming this year. Chet Holmgren, I'm going to be ready, and I got some help with Hartenstein. Excuse me, when you look at us as the Oklahoma City Thunder, please understand, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is looking up on us. We are looking down on everybody else, and we're going to come on national television today and show you we those dudes. Ankle inflammation and all of Jokic. We ain't here to feel sorry for you. We're here to bust your living, you know what. That's what we supposed to do. That's what we go do. If I'm OKC, that's what I'm saying.
And, you know, it's interesting that OKC doesn't get the respect they probably deserve.
Internally, within the league, too.
Yeah, you know, externally, internally, everywhere. I mean, they got the #1 net rating. We talked about it. They got the #4 offense, and they have the #1 defense by far. And, Malika, that's where they separate themselves from the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets have a fantastic player. These are the two best players in the Western Conference, maybe the two best players in the entire league. And oftentimes you go in a playoff series and you say the team with the best player in the series wins. Now, this is almost a tough one to predict. Some would say Jokic, some would say Shai going to the series. Where you see the gap, though, is Denver's defense.
Yeah.
Right? 17th in the NBA. So what Stephen A. is talking about as far as OKC looking down on everybody, we have a big enough sample size now after more than 60 games to tell you that OKC has earned the right to have that 1 seed and earned the right to be looking down on everybody.
23rd in opponent points per game. That's where Denver ranks, and OKC, we know, will feast on that perk.
Oh, absolutely. But look, the one person we need to talk about before we get into all the Oklahoma City Thunder stuff is Jokic and what he did last game.
Let's do that then, because it might not just be OKC standing out in the West that crystallizes in this game. It might be the race for the MVP as well, right? Let's catch you up with a little get out and run brought to you by Samsung. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he has been the best scorer in the NBA all season, averaging nearly 2 points more than any other player. He's been consistent throughout, right? No player has more games. This is what Stephen A. was alluding to, with 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50 points than SGA this season. And we're lucky to see his greatness in the same season as the three-time MVP Nikola Jokic. He put together, Perk, one of the best performances in NBA history on Friday. He became the first player ever with 30 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists in a game all time. Some people don't do that individually. He did that all together in one night, which sets up a very exciting MVP race over the final month of the season. The odds shifted after that game on Friday. SGA had his odds essentially cut in half. Perk, I had to check the box score to make sure that there was not a typo. How impressed were you? Were you as impressed with the odds makers by Nikola Jokic's last performance?
Well, I'm going to say this. I grew up watching Akeem Olajuwon. Matter of fact, I had the Olajuwons, the shoes, all right? I grew up watching Shaquille O'Neal. I grew up watching David Robinson. I've never seen a performance like I did from Nikola Jokic the last game against the Phoenix Suns. The most impressive performance I've seen with my eyes from a center. And I was looking, every rebound mattered in the final, in the fourth quarter and overtime. Every point mattered. Every assist mattered. And I'm looking at the 22 assists, and I'm like, damn. Like, he put his guys in position so easily to be successful. He set the table. All they have to do is finish. And when you think about Jokic, I said the other day on Scott Van Pelt, he's knocking at the door of being a top 5 center of all time. I already believe he's the most skilled center to ever play the game of basketball.
You're not doing that today. You're not doing that today, Big Perk. I'm telling you that right now. We're not going to do this today. Jokic is big time. The top 5 argument, I'm not disagreeing with it. I get all of that. But we ain't doing that today. We ain't going to start this narrative where all of a sudden Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets compromised for league MVP again like he did last year. Since February 1st, America, look at me, America. Don't wait, look at Perk, look at me. Since February 1st, the Oklahoma City Thunder are an NBA best 15-2. Okay, I'm looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now. Leads the NBA with 32.8 points per game, okay? In the calendar year, 50-point games, 4 of them since 2025 hit. Since 2020, 50. Oh, by the way, averaging 34 on 51% shooting, 43% from three-point range. We ain't gonna do this. Oklahoma City is the #1 seed. Everybody looking up, way up. You got to climb a ladder. We're not doing this to SGA this year. SGA is going to be the league MVP if he keeps this up. I don't care what Jokic does.
Really clear. 31 points, 21 rebounds, 22 assists. We still have a couple weeks left in the regular season. There is nothing that can happen. No shade on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that can change your vote that you said 2 months ago.
Oh, my Lord. Did I stutter? I didn't stutter.
I need whatever kind of coffee he has.
Malika Andrews is talking about like I stuttered.
Let me ask you a question, Stephen A.
Are you seeing what Shai is doing?
I am. Let me ask you a question. Well, one, the odds shouldn't cut in half on one game.
Sorry.
Let's acknowledge that is insane. That's ridiculous.
Thank you for saying that.
Let me say one thing, Stephen. I think I know what you're going to say, but had Jokic never won it, is some of that creeping into this SGA stuff?
That is fair, and that's accurate. But what I'm saying to you is this. It still doesn't negate what we're seeing from Shai Gilgeous. Yeah, I don't have Jokic fatigue. I voted for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last year. So my point is, he doesn't get it last year. Then he comes back as the #1 seed last year. Establishes the #1 seed this year. Got pieces around them. They're even better exponentially on the defensive side of the ball. And this brother's doing what he's doing. And we talk about somebody else.
You know what?
We're not doing this.
I'll tell you
We're not doing this.
Where I can get on board with that is we don't focus enough on winning. We don't talk enough about winning.
We are now.
We are now. So if this is close, yes.